What's up, everyone? It's the one and only Joey G. What's going on, everybody? Cut straight to it. Everybody will know the rumors. Brock Lesnar is leaving the WWE. Yes, it is true. Yes. And I don't like that dude. That's another story for another day. Brock Lesnar was at UFC Saturday night with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I think Sable was there with him. I really didn't see the picture fully, but he was. I know he had the WWE title there. He didn't have it, like, he wasn't really showing it, but at one picture backstage, he was holding it. So he was at UFC with the WWE World Championship. Now, last week on Raw, you know Brock Lesnar was supposed to be there. He wasn't there. Him and Vince McMahon had a big falling out. There were so many different rumors going around throughout the week. I mean, there was one rumor going around that he sucker punched Triple H, and they were covering up last Monday on Raw. Remember how Triple H didn't say one word last Monday on Raw? He didn't say one freaking word. He was just standing there, and Michael Cole, JBL, and Booker T kept, saying it was because of what Sting did to him at Fastlane. And by the way, Fastlane, besides for WrestleMania in the last 5 years, and maybe a couple SummerSlams, Fastlane was the best pay-per-view in the last 5-6 years, besides WrestleManias and a couple SummerSlams. And a couple Royal Rumbles. What do you call it? But mainly the Royal Rumbles last 5 years suck. But Fastlane, great pay-per-view. So a good plug for Fastlane. Good pay-per-view. I won't say great, but it was a good pay-per-view compared to the other shit that we've been seeing for the last 5 years. But Brock Lesnar and Vince McMahon are at wit's end. Vince, it went as far as of this week's Raw being written, the story. A writer asked Vince McMahon, should we have another plan in case Brock isn't going to be with the company anymore? And Vince emphatically said, no. If he doesn't show for WrestleMania, I will sue him. Superstars that are close to Brock Lesnar, behind the stage. Brock don't have too many friends, but he is friends with John Cena. John Cena's not a liar. John Cena said, Brock's done. He's leaving. He's done. And they're calling this worse than CM Punk. Like, CM Punk wasn't the champ when he left. He was, pretty high. He was besides Cena and Daniel Bryan, Punk was the next top guy. Daniel Bryan, when Punk left, Daniel Bryan was kind of the man. Cena, even though Cena still is the man. I don't care. He's still the face that runs the place. Until somebody else can step up and do what does what he does, then, besides Randy Orton, then, don't call me no bullshit. Love Cena or hate him. I'm a fan of Cena, but I trust me, I've learned to hate him too. Because I've seen enough. But he still is the man, the face that runs the place. He's entertaining. He's much better than, yes. And no, I don't get wet in my pants when Roman and John Cena come out. To whoever dickhead who left me a comment like that. Suck it. For real. Alright? Your mother. Alright? But anyway, Brock Lesnar is set to defend the WWE World title in UFC. I mean, these are rumors going around. And the thing is that this rumor is basically true. I mean, almost every website has reported it. I mean, that Brock Lesnar is not coming back. I mean, source, not just John Cena, there's other superstars that, that just gave him NXT that got friendly with Brock and said, listen, we know Brock. He's not coming back. He walked out last week. I don't know what the exact situation that him and Vince McMahon had a disagreement about. I don't think that Brock wants to put Roman over at WrestleMania. I think Brock would rather be wrestling Randy Orton or somebody else. I don't think Brock wants to put Roman over, and I don't know why, because why would Brock care? You know what I mean? But in a way, I'm glad, because if Brock does perform at WrestleMania, if Brock, he's going to be pissed, and he's going to pull what he did at WrestleMania 20 against Goldberg. He's going to pull a shit. I remember how everybody was looking forward to that Goldberg-Lesnar match. I mean, I can remember it, like, oh my God, Goldberg's fighting Lesnar. And the match sucked. I mean, the best part of the match is when Austin stunned them both at the end. And Goldberg was all happy, the big dickhead walking around with 2 Budweisers in his hand, and Austin kicked him and stunned them. You know what I mean? The whole garden was chanting, nah, 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 bye-bye to Brock Lesnar, because that's when he went to the Minnesota Vikings and didn't make the team. But, can't fault him. He went to UFC and won the UFC World title, and UFC's real. So, even though I'm a WWE guy and I'm a pro wrestling guy. But, you know what I mean? He did go to UFC where it's real and kicked ass. He had his losses, but he had his wins too. Brock Lesnar he's 1 in a million. Like China is, and that's another story I'll have during the week about what Triple H said about her. It's going all over the internet and all over the wrestling world. But what Brock Lesnar is to the dudes, you know what I mean, to the superstars of WWE, China was to the females. There'll never be another China. And there'll never, ever be another Brock Lesnar. You could say Batista. He's not Brock Lesnar. I like Batista. I'm one of Dave Batista's biggest fans. He's no Brock Lesnar. Sheamus, I don't really like Sheamus. By the way, Sheamus is returning tonight. Is it today the 2nd? Is today March 2nd? I don't know. Is today March? Hold up. Is today March 2nd? March 2nd. Yeah, March 2nd, 2015. Sheamus is returning tonight to Monday Night Raw. This is not a rumor. This is, I've got this from a reliable source that he is returning tonight, where it will look like a rumor that he was going to help Daniel Bryan. It'll be a numbers game, and he'll end up turning on Daniel Bryan. Or he's just going to return as a heel. As we all know, Sheamus is better as a heel. Let's face it. He had an alright run as a face, but he's better as a heel. But getting on to this Brock Lesnar and Vince McMahon, it's really hit its wing. Vince McMahon is, if he doesn't show up at WrestleMania, I'll sue him. Like, Vince is really, man, there's even reports that Vince hasn't been able to sleep. This is the granddaddy of them all. Brock Lesnar, it's not like last year. Okay, last year he was wrestling The Undertaker, but he wasn't in the main event. You know what I mean? So, and then if Brock Lesnar doesn't leave, and Brock Lesnar, it is Brock's way or the highway. And Brock is a beast. Who in that locker room is going to, The Undertaker ain't, the head of the locker room anymore. He's not there anymore. So who's going to step up to Brock Lesnar and say, you better be there. You're not going to mess it up for us. Nobody. Because Brock will squash them. For real. In real life. I like Roman Reigns and everything, but Brock will squash him. Who's going to go up to him? Daniel Bryan? You better do it. Yes. Come on, man. Brock will do whatever the fuck Brock wants to do, and that's it. Who's going to stop him? You think fines and suing Brock is going to stop Brock Lesnar? You're out of your friggin' mind. You know what I mean? But I love wrestling, and that would be really shitty because then the next champion, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, whoever, Randy Orton, whoever that Sheamus, which I hope it's not, but Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, Roman, Dean Ambrose, Ryback, Bray Wyatt, John Cena even, I wouldn't care, Cesaro, I'm a big Cesaro fan, any of them became champion, that'll be great, but they'll always be it. They didn't beat Brock, though. You could say that with Daniel Bryan last year. He got stripped of the title, but anybody can beat Daniel Bryan. I can beat Daniel Bryan. Any of you geeks out there watching me can beat Daniel Bryan. You know what I mean? Come on. Look at Daniel Bryan and look at Brock Lesnar. And don't give me that shit, oh, that's the main event we wanted to see at WrestleMania. Oh, come on, man. You really want to see Brock Lesnar and Daniel Bryan? Come on. That, like I said before, that would be a spit in the Undertaker's face. You might as well just urinate all over John Cena. I don't care what you people say about John Cena. He ain't no phony. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever seen a guy who's been a champion 15 friggin' times, and now he's going to go to the mid-card, and he's fighting for the U.S. title? I think you all got John Cena fucked up, for real. Because John Cena, I'm saying the guy puts people over. He's put plenty of people. I don't know how people say this golden shovel, he buries people. I just saw what Rusev did to him at Fastlane. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, when he was coming up and he beat Triple H at WrestleMania 22, and he beat Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 23, and he beat Edge and the Big Show at WrestleMania 25, and, he beat Batista, and he lost to The Miz. He put The Miz over at WrestleMania 27. He lost to The Rock at WrestleMania 28. You know what I mean? Sheamus' first big match ever, he won the WWE title. So don't give me that shit that Cena don't put people over. Cena don't put jackasses over. You know what I mean? People that ain't going to draw money. Like, God bless Umaga's soul and everything, but Umaga wasn't going to make no money. Umaga isn't Rusev. You know what I'm saying? Umaga isn't Brock Lesnar. You know what I'm saying? Umaga isn't Bray Wyatt. So people always bring Umaga up in the Nexus. Hey, the Nexus was a good faction, but they were a bunch of friggin' rookies. And people always say, oh, Cena. Maybe they could have turned that storyline in the 2010, had the Nexus win to make it more. And maybe Cena did bury the Nexus, but Wade Barrett's career is doing great. Daniel Bryan was an original part of the Nexus. He's the #1 face in the WWE. Come on. Look at Ryback. In my mind, and I think a lot of people's mind, Ryback's the future. But this Brock Lesnar, Brock Lesnar Vince McMahon thing is no joke. Don't be surprised if it's Randy Orton and Roman Reigns for the vacant WWE World title at WrestleMania, because right now, it's looking like Brock Lesnar is not going to be defending the WWE World title at WrestleMania. And it looks like he's going to be bringing that WWE World title to UFC. And that sucks. That sucks, dick. Really. That really, excuse my language, but that's horrible. That really is. But Monday Night Raw going to be factoring in what's going to go on. I don't know. I mean, that's why, in another instance I want to give real quick, if you noticed last week, they're keeping their options open. That's why if you saw Rusev denied Cena the U.S. title match, because they don't know if Brock's going to be at WrestleMania. So they got to leave Cena open, because they know Cena still can go in that main event. And in my mind, Cena belongs in that main event picture still. Even though I've seen enough. I've seen enough of John Cena. But, you know, if Brock Lesnar's gone and you don't have that many main eventers, you know who's going to sell, and that's John Cena. And another thing, notice last week, they didn't have Randy Orton go right after Seth Rollins. He's still technically with the Authority, but he is a face. You know what I mean? You could tell that he's playing mind games with the Authority. But they didn't start that yet because they don't know if they're going to have to put Randy Orton against Roman Reigns for the WWE World Title at WrestleMania, or John Cena versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, or a three-way. They don't know yet, the WWE. But they better figure out something, because I don't think Brock's coming back. This is Joey G. I'll do some inserts of Raw tonight, do my little play-by-play, and I'm going to do some shows during the week about China and why Daniel Bryan sucks. That's going to be my next show that or the China story during the week. 2 more shows coming up, and I'll do an excerpt of Raw tonight and try to get Sheamus' return. But as right now, I don't think Brock Lesnar's returning. And you can look not just at Joey G, any website. Brock Lesnar will be a breach of contract, but you know Brock Lesnar don't give a shit. He don't care. He is the beast. He is the beast incarnate. He does not care. This is Joey G, and I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.